Thank you. Gentleman from Connecticut, Mr. Courtney.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Mr. Secretary, for being here today. Again, just want to follow up on the mission of the department, which has been discussed already, which is to foster, promote, and develop the welfare of wage earners. I read your 17 pages of testimony and it was pretty notable to me that there was actually not one reference to the value of collective bargaining in terms of helping achieve the department's mission, which is unlike some of your predecessors. I've been around long enough to hear some of these hearings in the past. I thought I'd give you a chance to redeem yourself. On Easter Sunday, 31,000 employees of Stop and Shop grocery stores, after an 11-day strike, reached an agreement which, again, protected their health benefits, which, according to the public disclosure, the employer was seeking to increase health plan deductibles from $300 a year to $5,000 a year. They proposed more than doubling health insurance premiums, removing spousal coverage from health insurance premiums, eliminating time and a half pay on Sundays, and slashing pension contributions for full-time employees by half. The company obviously gambled in thinking they could, win that job action, and they badly miscalculated. Customers actually adhered to the picket lines, and the settlement, which was announced on Easter Sunday evening, again, pretty much restored all of those benefits, which had been hard fought for many years by the United Food and Commercial Workers Union for those employees. So again, so far, the only thing in your testimony was on the persuader rule. There's been a host of other initiatives by the Trump administration to weaken collective bargaining. With all due respect, what the UFCW did for its employees far exceeds the value of anything that was in association health plans in terms of their health benefits. And any wage increase would have been just decimated if that employer position, which again is a Danish company, had prevailed. So again, can you sort of at least indicate for a moment, what the department's position is in terms of the value of collective bargaining, which again we saw succeed for 31,000 employees up in New England?
Congressman, thank you for the question. I was actually up in Connecticut looking at electric boat and some amazing, really
Yeah, I'm going to mention that because actually the metal trades are benefiting from registered apprenticeships. You kind of didn't mention that, but go ahead on the Stop and Shop.
Yes, so I read a little bit about that, and so to be clear, higher wages is a good thing, whether it happens through collective bargaining, whether it happens because of a growing economy, whether it happens through any other mechanism. Higher wages are a good thing to the extent that the United Food Workers helped those workers. That is a good thing. The point that I made earlier with Congresswoman Davis's question is we are seeing wages increase, and we all benefit when wages go up. So if it happens through collective bargaining and if it happens through other mechanisms. Finally, you mentioned association health plans, and I do think it's important. You are correct. They would not benefit from association health plans because they're part of a large corporation. And the idea of association health plans is to give those same benefits to small businesses that don't have the advantage of that collective bargaining.
Right, and again, just for the record, there are over 600 association health plans that were in existence prior to your rule that went into effect. All your rule did was basically create a loophole to avoid essential health benefits, which is something that they had to accommodate. Again, I just want to move on to another question. Last time you were here, I asked you about the rising incidence of workplace violence in the healthcare sector. Again, we had a GAO report, which a few of us had ordered a number of years ago, which showed a 69% increase from 2006 to 2017. The CEO of Cleveland Clinic, which is one of the largest healthcare systems in the U.S., again, just a few weeks ago, had a speech where he described what's happening in emergency rooms as a national epidemic, and that the violence that they're seeing, the number of weapons that are being seized at the emergency room entrance has just skyrocketed. Again, we've been waiting for the department to move forward on an OSHA rule that creates a national standard. Can you describe what you've done since the last time you testified before this committee in that area?
Certainly, Congressman. The regulatory agenda that is forthcoming will show that the first step in an OSHA rule is the creation of a SBREFA panel. And it will show that we're in the process of creating that SABRIFA panel to look at this issue. Let me also say, as we talk about workplace violence, drugs is an important part that we need to look at, and maybe we'll have more time to talk about that.
Thank you. Gentleman from Tennessee, Dr. Rowe.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you, Mr. Secretary, for being here. And since the Jobs Cuts and the Tax Cut and Jobs Act, in my state of Tennessee, we've seen personal income rise significantly.